MAGAs regret voting for Trump. You're a bunch of hateful, stupid idiots that deserve to lose your jobs and to deserve to be deported yourself.
They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you all the way to the White House.
President Trump, we love you. We will support you all the way to the end. Thank you for everything you've been doing.
We have a message for you, President Trump, from all the way down from the RGV 956. Latinos for Trump here representing. We've been with you since 2016. Co-founded Latinos for Trump. We pray for you, and it's time to what? Finish it.
I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote.
Raise your hand, come on.
For Donald Trump.
Almost 50,000 Cubans from the Miami area in Florida are facing deportations.
The Trump administration has decided not to extend temporary protected status for 350,000 Venezuelans that are in the United States. This means when their TPS expires April 3rd, 2025, they will not be allowed to renew it. We were waiting for today, February 2nd, to see what the Trump administration was going to do, because they have about 60 days prior to the expiration to decide whether or not they are going to extend TPS for those that are already protected under the 2023 designation. And it has now been decided that they are going to terminate the program. And it has been determined that those that have TPS that are set to expire on April 3rd, 2025 will not be allowed to extend it. There's another group of people that have TPS that was designated in 2021, and those people have TPS through September 10th, 2025. This is going to leave hundreds of thousands of people in the United States with no protected status, which means if they have a removal order, they will in fact be deported. They will not have TPS to protect them. A lot of them already have pending asylum cases. They also already have cases in front of the immigration court, and they have cases that have been administratively closed, because you are allowed to administratively close a case when you're on TPS in front of the courts. But it's definitely going to cause a lot of chaos and a lot of re-strategizing for these Venezuelans.
In this video, Cuban and Venezuelan MAGA voters who are facing deportation regret voting for Donald Trump. This is the FAFO season. Many minority groups in the United States of America regret voting for Donald Trump. A lot of Cubans and Venezuelans fear getting deported. This is because Donald Trump has cancelled the TPS, that is the temporary protected status. So let's watch these videos and we'll come back here and discuss further about it. But before we watch the videos, if you haven't yet liked this video, kindly like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Let's watch the videos together.
This question is for Cuban Americans and Cuban Americans only. I'm going to say it with my whole chest. I'm going to say it in English because I know you understand me, because you're a U.S. citizen who just voted for this piece of shit human trash can in the White House right now. How can you look your family members in the eye? You know, the family members that you just brought over from Cuba, that you just helped bring over here in the last 2 years with Biden's CBP-1 program. How can you look them in the eye and tell them that you love them when you voted for the motherfucker who just, with the stroke of a pen and a memorandum in the last 48 hours, has completely invalidated their immigration status? How can you look them in the eye and tell them that you love them when their humanitarian parole may no longer be valid? When their I-94, you know, the legal visitation process that they went through to come to the U.S. to change their status after they're here for a year, that immigration process, that legal immigration process, how can you look them in the eye and tell them that you love them when you are the reason they no longer have immigration status in this country. No, because people need to get here the right way. First of all, I'm not even going to talk about how the Duke got here, but your family members did get here the right way, did they not? Because they came in through the CBP-1 program, a Biden-era program that was put together by his administration in the last couple of years for specific countries so that they could come here the right way, so that they could come to the border and enter the United States legally. And I can talk about that program because I have family members who have also used that program to get here. They make an appointment with the CBP-1 app. They wait patiently for an appointment because sometimes it has taken 2 months, 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months to get an appointment. They go to their appointment at the U.S. border. They speak with a CBP officer. They get an interview and interrogated by a CBP officer who then determines if they get approved or not to come into the United States legally. And yes, before the trolls come for me, they can still adjust their status. They can still apply for a green card after 1 year. But in the meantime, I have zero hope that this is going to change anybody's mind in that community because I'm from Miami. I know y'all. I grew up with all of you. But I hope that you are scared. I hope that you're angry. I hope that people like Maria Elvira Salazar are hitting bricks and doing everything in their power to change this because she helped bring upon the problem in the first place. She helped shape the white supremacy that's the Miami Cuban American community. I hope that your minds are changing just a little bit and that you're starting to question your choices because we told you so. You might be white in skin color, but in this country, you are a other. You are not American to them. You are just as much of an immigrant and just as much of a problem for them as anybody else. I hope to God that everything that's happening right now opens up your eyes because your family members, just like my family members who just got here, who likely had a worse time in Cuba than you did before coming here, which is why they're here in the first place, those family members deserve to be here and do not deserve everything that's happening to them right now because of people like you who think they're better than everybody else, deciding that you want to close the door behind you after this country has given you all of the benefits it's giving you that it doesn't give a single other nationality. I hope to God everything that's happening right now opens up your eyes. My heart is aching over this, literally aching. Just like a lot of people's are. But we're not surprised. Maybe, the only silver lining is that maybe, just maybe, this needed to happen. A shakeup in the community needed to happen in order for y'all to realize they don't give a f about you.
Just shut.
So, I may seem a little heartless when I say this, and whether you be cool or come out of a bag on me, it really doesn't make any difference because we have literally been through hell, and it ain't even been a week into Trumpy Dump's presidency. And now we have MAGA Latina voters that want to get on here and make the sad videos with the sad music, whining and crying about these mass deportations when we literally told you so. But you didn't even have to listen to us. You could have got it from the person that you voted for because that's what he ran his campaign on. He told you at the beginning, the middle, and the end of every single campaign speech that there would be mass deportations on day one. And now you have the mitigated gall to get on Annalise Keaton's internet and act as if you're surprised. What you surprised about? That's what he said he was going to do. You literally said when you were asked by the media, hey, we don't care. They didn't need to come over here anyway. That's what you said. But now he's going after that birthright citizenship. And now you're worried about it because you know you're not protected. You're no longer protected. It's ridiculous and a high boo-boo shitty mess that you would choose to vote against your own interest. And what was your reason? And now you're on here crying, whining, and snotting and fearing for the very thing we told you would happen. I gotta be honest. It is what it is. You voted against humanity. You voted against your own interest, and now you gotta take responsibility for that. And it's a damn shame because we literally told you so. Frumpy told you so. You literally have a member of Congress down there in Florida, a MAGA member of Congress that is begging for Cubans in her area to be protected by Homeland Security. because they use the Biden policies to seek asylum. Oh yeah, it's that bad. And it's going to get worse. And I'm just going to be here to report on it all if I choose to, because I'm choosing what I want to ingest these days. And a lot of this stuff, I don't even want to look at it because it's absolutely absurd. Because every time I see it, I literally sing that song, I Told You So. So, it may seem heartless, but I'm checked out. I have nothing. I literally have nothing but protecting me and mine.
Well, looks like Miami has entered the find out phase. So it's being reported, and I read an article in the Tallahassee Democrat, that Miami-Dade County is going to be ground zero for the Orange Man's deportation program. Now, if you didn't know, Miami-Dade County has a 70% Hispanic population. This fact helped the Orange Man win the county by 11 percentage points. It's like the first time a Republican has won Miami-Dade County since 1988. Now, it makes sense for this program to start in Miami-Dade County because, honestly, Miami-Dade probably has the most deportation cases that are open in the whole country. And truth be told, Miami has a large concentration of immigrants. That's just a fact. Immigrants that are documented and undocumented. And chances are, if you live in Miami, you probably know someone who's undocumented. It's just unavoidable. But just to be clear, this whole program is not just going to target people that are undocumented. It also is going to target people that are on DACA. It's going to target people with temporary protected status. It's going to target people seeking asylum. And keep in mind, those people aren't illegal, but for the simple fact that those programs that they're trying to use will be taken away or expired. And with those programs being taken away or expired, now you are technically...
Welcome back. So this is the FAFO season. In this video, Cuban and Venezuelan MAGA voters who are now facing deportation regret voting for Donald Trump. Many of these minority groups in the United States regret voting for Donald Trump because they feel that they have been betrayed by Donald Trump. A lot of Cubans and Venezuelans fear getting deported because their TPS, that is the temporary protected status, has been revoked or cancelled by Donald Trump. Now, these politicians are very cunning and they are very crafty. If you do not read behind the lines of these political promises that they make, you will always find yourself on the knife's edge. Now, this lady who Donald Trump invited in front of the podium, declaring their support or their community support to Donald Trump, probably may be facing this, or a family member of hers may be facing this fate. Meanwhile, they have declared their support for Donald Trump. Politicians are very cunning and they are very crafty. So we need to watch out for the things that politicians put out there. And even in this case, Donald Trump was very emphatic about things that he was going to do. He clearly stated that mass deportation is going to be a thing in his administration. And so he did not even hide what he was going to do from the voters who voted for him. Now, funny enough, Black Americans have always been warning these other minority groups against political promises made by politicians, and they always foresee what is about to happen in the future and warn other minority groups against things like that. But it looks like for some reason all these other minority groups normally do not heed to the advice of Black Americans. Black Americans have gone through a lot of struggles, a lot of failed promises by these politicians, so they have already learned their lesson and they know how these politicians play their games around. They always use the minority groups in order to win their elections. So Black Americans have already seen this. Now, Cubans and Venezuelans are now also facing this same thing because Donald Trump is revoking or has revoked the temporary protected status that was protecting some of these groups who have fled their country in order to come to the United States of America. Now, when the previous president, Joe Biden, was leaving office, he extended the TPS to somewhere April or September. So their time had not even ended yet. Donald Trump, who should have also extended it, is now revoking the temporary protected status, now leaving all these Cubans and Venezuelans to be deported or at the risk of being deported because their TPS has now been cancelled. So it looks like nowadays it's either they lock themselves up in their room and do not go anywhere again because what was protecting them has been revoked by the president. Indeed, this is the FAFO season. Let this season continue. Share your general thoughts and opinions about this in the comment section below. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also share the video to other friends on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.